Welcome to the show. We are live inside Union News. Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth presents Union News, and the topic of today will be everything you should unlearn from Twin Flame videos. The real twin flame work happens on the inside, and then it will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your regular twin flame news. And today on the show, we have everything you should unlearn from twin flame videos, because ever since, I was initiated into becoming the Twin Flame Union teacher, and starting to roll that out exactly as God now demands, right? Because we are like the next thing that God desires from us when we truly live that inside the consciousness state of harmonious union. And so that's my mission, to bring that to you. And it started to work out like crazily, like amazingly, like immediately, like magnificently, like mythologically, like just there are no words for it. Although I use a lot of words in these kinds of shows, I agree. But if I really need to say it, I would say I have no words. I have no words, because everyone ever since I got my harmonious union and I was initiated to become the teacher, everyone that comes to me, bam, God gives it to them. Bam, God gives it to them. Bam, there's their true twin flame. Bam, there's the consciousness state that they need. And I'm just flabbergasted. Yeah, but that's how it goes when you do the real thing with the real teacher, and when you have the real deal. It's amazing. You can experience it too. But here's the thing, ever since that all started to work out for me, actually last summer, I and going towards the fall, very recently on my channel, you can just see it. Go to my channel page and, you know, look back a couple of weeks. And there they are, the videos in which I show you that on my Patreon, which is a separate site, I have published all these. There are the full videos there. Only teaser videos are on my own channel here on Facebook. That I researched all these, sometimes very well known, sometimes lesser known, YouTube twin flame videos and channels and so-called teachers. And I have reviewed a whole couple of them. There's a beautiful series of video now that will teach you so much about what the truth actually is. And it gives so much in-depth like insight into behind the scenes of the true twin flame teacher. How does it really look when you watch these videos? But the point is that I also look back on like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, times like that, when I I hadn't, fulfilled the end result yet, which I have now. And I also was watching YouTube channels and, like trying to find the solution. And so, but now, like a couple of weeks ago, I went back to a couple of these and to look at them and to really open my heart and try to give my best shot at describing what I see, what I feel in my heart, what it really is from the position of where I'm now, from the position of, okay, now everything has been revealed to me and it's working out tremendously well. And now how does it look? And to just try to look at that and say something about that. And these are awesome videos. You really have to see them if you have any like desire in your heart to understand the truth of what twin flames are and can be right now in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, which is, mandatory for anyone right now, sort of from God out. That's like the new thing that we're all going to. But it's very specific and it's only this. And it's real. It's a real state, and you'll know when you're in it. And something truly changes, and then you have the thing that you actually want. I know that you already have, experiences, and they can be earth shattering and heart opening and whatnot, but you can't sustain it. That's the point. That's why you're here. And going to that consciousness state and being clicked into it is actually the solution that there is here and that I share here for your unresolved twin flame desire. Okay, so where was I? I'm just trying to say everything at the same time. That's how it goes. But telling a story goes, piece by piece, and then at a certain moment I lost my train of thought. But we'll get there. So when you watch these channels that I just did and described that I did for you on Patreon, you can see them all. They're very detailed videos of me explaining what I saw, like hours long. Beautiful, beautiful, so insightful. But what I got from it was like a whole couple of things that I also like vaguely remember from years ago. Like, oh, that's how they talk in twin flame videos on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work, of course. And it's just so funny to look back and to see that. And I just collected a couple of them. I don't try to be complete, but I collected a couple of them for you, and we're just going to talk about that today. These are the things that you might have heard on videos on YouTube about twin flames, so called about twin flames, right? And it's just not true. It's just you need to unlearn that. Many people have watched a lot of YouTube videos on twin flames, and they think they know now because they have, like 500 hours of twin flame videos. And yeah, so, but what if all these twin flame videos that you spend your time with are not telling you the truth and giving you all kinds of ideas that you now stuff inside your head and in your heart, and it's just not working out for you? It's not working out for you, is it? Because these ideas that you stuffed in your head and in your heart are nonsense. You have to now unlearn them, because now you stuffed yourself full of it, and now you have a, a new problem. You need to work through the removal process of all this crap. So I mean, at least when you want a real twin flame in a real consciousness state of harmonious union. So, and that's why I'm here today. That's why we're here. That's why I have a school, a school of unlearning and moving in the real deal. And then you'll arrive in harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, and you'll have all these things that your heart truly desires with your true twin flame in a way that does not go away anymore, and that is actually peaceful and joyful. And that's possible for you. That's why I have a school, and right now the door is open. You can walk in anytime. At this moment, the door will close again soon. So just saying to make you aware. But you can walk in now, and the program is called Twin Flame Abundance Now. And besides going to your harmonious twin flame union and getting the whole romance working for you, you can now also become a twin flame coach of your own and start to make money real soon. And you will be able to make the money back that you invest in the school and much more, depending on your effort, of course. That's what we have now. Yeah, that's where we are now. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And, when you walk through the door now, I will see you at the upcoming episode of the almost weekly calls that we have in Zoom. And you can start to work on the workbooks. And oh my gosh, there's so much material that will support you as well. Oh, anyway, it'll work out for you. But let us go back to what are we going to do today in this show. So in a minute, I will discuss just a couple of um, things that I saw that I realized that people will need to unlearn in themselves when they want to go to their true twin flame union in the consciousness state of harmonious union, which is needed for all. Yeah, because you better know them, right? Because then you can know what you should not have known. That's a start. It's at least a start. So it really helps you. And let me for a moment explain why we have the possibility to become a paid Patreon member on this and all live shows. Because you can listen to it and enjoy, and that is fine. But if you want the content of these shows to spiritually work healing on your union, you invest in the messages. That's how you support your union healing. Money unlocks it. And this can be just a beautiful first step that you can take. And that makes sense even while you also step through the door in the actual school. You can do them at the same time, and everything I offer enhances each other. And if you'd like to invest in your union, there's also the once in a lifetime opportunity. Oh, I already told you that. Well, anyway, let's read it again to do the program. Okay, well, let's keep that short because I already said that. And yeah, you are very much invited. So let's cut through the chase and talk about it, because some people say just ignore your twin flame. And there are people on YouTube that tell you they're so serious about that, and they make video after video after video after video telling you to ignore your twin flame with all your might. And that's not how it works. Sorry, not sorry. I'm genuinely helping you by saying this. It is not working because I understand that you might not want to chase like an drunk idiot after this person that you think is your twin flame. They might not, in truth, be. And that it helps to calm yourself down a little bit. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But that doesn't say anything yet if you are doing the true twin flame inner work. You're not doing that yet at all. It doesn't say that they are your twin flame. It doesn't say at all that this is the twin flame. It is a very shallow, one-sided argument for something that might be a footnote here and there to not go over the top. Sure, don't go over the top. But if you leave out the true possibility of genuine connection with your twin flame and try to stuff away the emotions that you truly have about them and your relationship with them, you threw away the entire possibility to heal and get together with them in harmonious union. Because it does not work like that. Because for the true twin flame inner work, you need to face how you're truly feeling. You need their input with whatever they are communicating with you, even if it's so-called bad. Because you need that as input for the true inner communication. That is the true twin flame healing that truly works. And then they will change. But it is the true twin flame that will change from that. And not the maybe twin flame, that might not be the twin flame, that you threw away in the hopes of them coming back. Do you see what you're doing? You threw them away in the hopes that they're coming back. You're just a manipulator now. It's not manipulation, true twin flame inner work. So, and another thing that people say on these videos is just zoom out and see that it's not such a drama what they're doing. When your twin flame does something that you don't like and you feel pain in your heart, just zoom out to see that it's actually not such a drama in the grand scheme of things, and see what they're doing and try to understand it in a bigger, grander scheme of things. Okay. Okay, I genuinely understand what they're saying there. I really do. I really, really do. But that doesn't say anything about doing the real inner work and having the results of that. That doesn't say anything about if they actually are the true twin flames. It's a little bit the same as before. It's some sort of a shallow idea that might give you some relief. I understand. But it's not the thing. It's not the thing. Some people say, oh, we have an idea. Just see that you are the soul. You are not the body, and etc. You're the soul. Yeah, and that should resolve it. No, it doesn't. I understand perfectly what they're saying. I have decades and lifetimes of experience with in so many different cultures of soul work. Thoroughly. Not as an idea, not as I've read some books, but actually lived through. I understand what they're saying. And it does not work. You need to do the specific twin flame inner work in the arms of a specific initiated twin flame teacher that can give you that consciousness state of harmonious union now. Is there also a place for, well, see that you are the soul? Yes, there is a place for that. But that's not the whole thing. That's not the deal. That's not how you know that they're the true twin flame. And that's not how you heal what is going on in your union. And then some say this, oh, just understand that you're not supposed to be lovers together. You have a twin flame, but and it's very spiritual and whatnot, and you learn from that experience. And that's beautiful. You have like a spurt in your spiritual development, but you're not supposed to be lovers. Don't think that you're going to be lovers. Yeah, that doesn't help also. Because now you're just cutting the whole phenomena that you are at the core. You are that phenomenon. It's not an idea that you can like saw in half and then throw the other half that way and one half in the other direction. That's what you're doing. You're saying you're not lovers. So you just tell me like to break the organic whole of twin flames apart and say, well, friends is okay. We throw it this side, but lovers is not okay. We throw it that side. That's also not possible. You can't break from the wholeness of twin flames things apart from that and put that aside. They're lovers and friends and your student and your teacher and your mission partner and your life partner. That's the nature of the thing. And it doesn't help to say such things. Because maybe it's like, oh, but then people are like, oh, yeah, well, I feel so difficult in my heart. Can be that's the moment where you are in your journey. And then, you can work that out with genuine twin flame inner work so that you undo that difficult feeling in your heart so that you feel genuinely and sustainably happy. That's the point of twin flame inner work. And then people would be like, well, maybe we just tell you that, well, you're not supposed to be lovers. So then it hurts a little less because, you know, all kinds of things are possible. You cannot say that. Yeah. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't help. You're just, like saying someone is bleeding from the heart. And you're saying, well, just put a little bit of tissue on it and put your hand there. And then it will be better because it will, not give such a mess. Come on, their heart is bleeding. And the only way to truly resolve that is to go to the core of the matter, which is actually your consciousness. That's why here we go to the harmonious union consciousness state. That's where the real solution is. And you will find the complete twin flame feeling, teaching, truth there that is not broken off in pieces. Some say just accept and wait. Just wait a little longer. Well, that doesn't work. You need to unlearn that. How long are you going to wait and do nothing? Dude, you're supposed to do the twin flame inner work. And the more you do that, and it will take you a couple years to get used to that and make it a true habit that just goes automatically. The more you do that, the less it will feel like work for sure. And it will just flow and you'll go deeper and deeper and you'll go to your true twin flame and you'll be with them in harmonious union in the love and joy that it's supposed to be about. So, and some people say things like the Blu-ray twin flames are in the next wave. So rejoice and let yourself be taken up in the next wave and it will come for you. Okay. Well, this is my answer. Why don't you just go to the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union? And once you're truly there, acknowledged with your teacher, we will discuss if any rainbow color makes sense. But first do that one because that's the real thing. And then maybe you do feel attracted to one or more colors of the rainbow a little more than others. And that's fine. But why don't you first make it come true with the actual twin flame inner work? Okay. And some say let's endlessly work on psychologically relating. People want to talk about their attachment styles that we gotten into in our early childhoods, in how we interacted with our primary caregivers, let's say our mother. And people want to talk about relationship abuse, such as narcissistic abuse and other kinds of things. People want to talk about how to psychologically relate as nicely as possible as grown-ups with each other in a love relationship. And people are like, well, let's make that a tantric relationship. Let's make that a conscious relationship. Let's make that a this and a that and the other thing. Isn't that beautiful? And one place to have relationships and they have a philosophy, they have an even more beautiful philosophy than the next place. And all of that is not what brings you twin flame union. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. So you need to unlearn that. Yeah, might sound disappointing because it can be so beautiful to have all kinds of beautiful ideas about conscious relationships and tantric bliss in sexual, sacred sexual encounters and whatnot. Oh, what a beautiful philosophies. And you might fall for them, but it has nothing to do with being with your true twin flame because that is more like all philosophies in the end fall away and you fall together with the truth of creation. And no psychology nor philosophy works there. Almost like that's more what it is. So, yeah, if you want to do psychological work, then do psychological work. If you want to do tantric work and like conscious relationship ideas, then do that. But if you want to have your twin flame in harmonious union, then leave that by the wayside. You will see that inside doing the twin flame inner work, the true twin flame inner work, you will experience psychological healing where needed. You will experience the heart opening in so much sacred bliss, and you can give that all kinds of names. But then it is integrated into the twin flame journey, in the twin flame healing in a correct way. And that's the only way that works. That's the one that we do here. So many people on the internet will tell you to try to make the twin flame do what you want. Like, oh, we have a new idea, a new manifestation idea, a new spiritual, I don't know, meditation, manifestation, I don't know what. And what it often comes down to is they're trying to make your twin flame do what you want. And then it may be brought so spiritually beautiful, but think about it like this: you're actually just manipulating them. And that never works, because it is not in the profound freedom of union. You're just trying to manage it. And that is never what that is. Yeah, what did I have? Oh, I have one last one. People that might try to make you accept whatever the twin flame does is okay. Just accept it. It's okay. Well, not everything is okay. And it still says nothing about doing the inner work, which you have to do. And through doing the correct inner work for twin flames, it will actually change whatever they do. And or you will see it differently and feel it differently. And or after you've completed the inner work completely, you will stand up and be assertive and make new arrangement with them. So that also doesn't work. So that was my little list of all kinds of things like that people might tell you in twin flame videos. And it must not, it's it's probably not complete, but some ideas. And I hope this helps. And I hope that the rest of my show also helps. Let's go to the twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day. For twin flame union to stabilize in you and your life, you need to associate only with truth in all aspects of life, forever forward, and leave the rest. For twin flame union to stabilize in you and your life, you need to associate only with truth in all aspects of life, forever forward, and leave the rest. Yeah, I do feel that this is the correct conclusion of what we just discussed, isn't it? You need to associate with the truth. And there is a God-given truth of the essence of what you are. And that also translates into all kinds of life aspects, such as food and body and work and relationships and family and marriage and children and I don't know, all kinds of life topics, right? And in how you're going to do all these things, you need to associate with truth and leave the rest. So even, if you see a YouTube video and you really like this person, but you have to leave it because it is not associated with the truth. So maybe if you feel that this person is so kind, but that does not mean that they have what you need for your twin flame union. So, there can be like that, there can be like a process to that, like can be difficult. Like But I like doing these things, but they're not supported inside the twin flame truth. And, you know, making your twin flame union come true can be quick and easy when you would allow yourself to leave the rest. So it's up to you, you know? And that's also why there is a lot of grief involved, but it's not bad. Because it's like the grief that you cry out right before the dream life comes in. And you make space in your life for the dream life by that grief. So, it's not a bad experience when you look at the entirety of it. Let's go to ACIM, A Course in Miracles. Such a beautiful source for getting more of a grasp on what union consciousness actually is. And you want to go to harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, and going to union consciousness is a great preparation for that step. So that's why a little bit of A Course in Miracles is always wonderful. Lesson 330. I will not hurt myself again today. Let us this day accept forgiveness as our only function. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out his power and his love and bids them take what is already theirs? The mind that is made willing to accept God's gifts has been restored to spirit and extends its freedom and its joy, as is the will of God united with its own. The self which God created cannot sin, and therefore cannot suffer. Let us choose today that He be our identity, and thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. The complete lesson you can read in the link, and the link will be in the show notes after this show is over. I always post the complete show notes in my Patreon, where you can become a member and have many benefits, such as every month I make one of my services or twin flame readings or coaching experiences enormously cheaper for people of the second tier Patreon members, for instance. So that's one of the things that you can get there also, besides the show notes. I will not hurt myself again today. The lesson that just right now, it just explained to us that, well, we are union consciousness, right? That is God's gift to us, and we can just accept it. And the technique to do that is forgiveness. You forgive what didn't work. All the techniques on the internet about what you heard about how twin flames should work that actually don't. And you forgive that. You forgive that fact. You forgive these people. You forgive YouTube. You forgive yourself for believing it. And then you can leave that behind and you move on to the real deal. And you move into how God actually created you as a twin flame. And that's the point. That's what you do. That's the direction to go in for twin flame union, for the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. Let us choose today that He be our identity, and thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. It was all a dream of fear, all the misperceptions and mistakes about what twin flames are and how to reach union. They're all dreams of fear. And you can just leave that by unschooling yourself from it, unlearning it, leave it alone, and move your mind in the direction of God's mind, and understand that you are identical, that He is your identity, and stop hurting yourself again today. I will not hurt myself again today. Stop hurting yourself and understand what you truly are. I also opened my own book and see what came out as if it was an oracle, and this is what came out. A piece of a chapter that is full of wondrous things about the magic from before time, which both refers to, I think we're gonna just get a glimpse in it. The rest you have to read in my actual book. A glimpse of, well, it refers to a time in the past, but it also refers to like archaeology in your consciousness. What about that? In your memories that are in your spirit still preserved of what creation is, what we experienced with God, and or in union, and or in earlier lifetimes, and or in other places and times, but still the same essence, still you, still union, still part of God. All right. So this is called Taking Responsibility, Magic from Before Time. Taking responsibility is a form of commitment to yourself and to the true nature of who you are. You are a creator, a magician at heart. That is why you are here. When you take the time, when you take the 2 times 9 steps at heart of the ultimate pleasure path to perfection, that was just discussed right before, but it's not real here in this segment. Then you are taking responsibility in this new endeavor that the world needs. The ultimate pleasure path to perfection is underlying the union and mission teaching that I teach, the real path that I actually teach. So there you go. When you take the 2 times 9 steps at heart of the ultimate pleasure path to perfection, then you are taking responsibility in this endeavor that the world needs. Therefore, we can now disclose some of the backgrounds of the 2020 situation that is relevant to this. The following text is about the purple dawn of creation, the magician's roots, the revolution of 2020, and where it leads you. This is a lifetime and emotional archaeology approach of the reality of heaven that is here now. The sacred death cult and the magicians of the purple dawn. The first half of 2020 was worldwide set in a tone of crisis of an accumulated sort. A virus spread rapidly over the globe, which was especially remarkable for the alarming news that was reported around it was spreading alike. A virus spread rapidly over the globe, which was especially remarkable for the alarming news that was reported around it was spreading alike. Okay. Economical decline followed for many. More side effects were, among others, an increased sense of personal, social, and societal conflict because of the measurements enforced and or the emotional reaction to it and more. For many, it has been a whole quest to find ways to deal with this on an individual, familial, social, societal level concerning issues of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual nature. Some reacted by following the official news media filled with compulsory measurements, others, on the opposite side of the spectrum, with ideas of extensive conspiracy theory notions. However, both of the extremes may not be the most productive place to stay for long, as they are imbalanced and will tire you out quickly. As factually all extremes that are opposites, the truth is not to be found the truth is to be found on a more fundamental level than those two options. That third option should be the most replenishing as well. When I personally started to go in the direction of spreading my mission after I reached harmonious twin flame union in 2020, and also rolled out a money saboteur reset game on social media with a small cozy group of friends online end of March 2020. I held the position of not choosing either, but staying as sober as possible, yet also to steer somewhat clear from an overkill of mainstream media outpour of frankly massively fear-inducing exclamations, so as to stay as fearless as possible within the given situation and keep on moving forward in my personal and professional development. Although that position seemed most reasonable to me at the time, and it was clear to me that a certain degree that this was a circumstance with a spiritual significance, my outlook changed dramatically the day directly after the online challenge I led was over. One of the first days of April, I find myself in my bathtub while my brain feels into a new depth, signifying to me new emotions and current perceptions of my source inspired mission. That day, Source took me on an inner journey and revealed how this drama that seemed to only have a circumstantial offspring and effect so that it would come and at a certain time fade out again as well, actually pertains to a deepening that brings to the surface a new layer of value for global development, and with that also a new relevancy of my mission. The value of the spiritual block that we are thus currently collectively clearing lies in the content that will be uncovered when it is sufficiently worked through collectively and individually. The entire crisis, with all of its interrelated, multi tangled components, is the block that has a clear cut descent in the Saturn death cult, and the Maitreya friendship is the layer revealed by the magicians of the Purple Dawn. I will try to explain this for you, and you may need to understand that this is not merely a story to entertain you or bring you in a haze of some sort. It is told to reveal truth to you, and you are invited to your individual process of accepting that in. However, you may still live in the layer of the mainstream media world, the layer of conspiracy theorists is perhaps to be considered one step closer to the truth. At least it is part of a deeper layer that is hidden by the conceit of the government influenced mass media. But then, deeper than those partial ideas on child traffic networks for sexual misconduct covered by corruption, and the playbook out of which the virus was taken and executed to mask the behind the scenes war of interests, it makes most sense to look for where it all comes from. Is there not one source for the entirety of the massive collective of ideas choking the skeptics of the world that at the same time explains the origin, gives a resolution, and a way forward that is ultimately sane and steers clear from anything nasty and related? The Saturn death cult is what that is. And thereafter needs to be said immediately that there's nothing wrong with Saturn itself, as it is a planet in the sky, the occult and rituals as such, as they are the laws of the universe translated in humanity understandable knowledge, in humanely understandable knowledge and actions. This basically refers to the fact that there are unfortunately always those that actually use certain facts, symbols, stories, and histories and use them for the motivation of very harmful practices. It is not in the symbols themselves that the harm can be found, but in the way they are used for certain goals that are less than whole and holistic. The Saturn Death Cult does so. What is really neat about the idea of the Saturn Death Cult is that it gives the option for having a term that covers the entire movement that is just descriptive in itself and does not refer to viewpoints that include that there are additional layers trying to mystify this group's existence and those that try to demystify the mystifying layers. In any way, it was Source itself that pointed this out, and something that exists as something that exists, and this is no longer needed. So that reality will therefore remove this phenomenon entirely. Yes, that is correct. This starts to sound like a heroic story now. That is not, but that is not the idea. The idea is to show you exactly where peace lives and what your role in that can be moving forward. So, to shortcut that for you, peace is in the purple dawn, the period of the earth when time did not yet exist before the Saturn death cult came into existence together with time. Not that there is anything wrong with time in itself, but there will always be this odd one out that interprets new inventions in a way that enhances separation and ego, with devastating result instead of union and friendship with unconditionally loving results. Before time, the earth was constantly bathed in a purple dusky hue. There was no difference of day and night, thus, there was no way to tell time. This was due to the Earth being in another place in the universe than it is now. It was with Saturn in a Sun to Earth relationship, and within the magnetic field of this constellation, there were a couple of other planets too that we still know today. Wow, that was from Twin Flames Manifesting Your Abundant Life of Love, page 291. And yes, the Magicians of the Purple Dawn, you may remember that from like within your most ancient memories in your soul. And by accepting that you can now step out of that Saturn Death Cult idea and into the reliving of the Purple Dawn peace in your twin flame union and step up as the magician that you are and start to live that. That is what you can get from this. That's why it's in my twin flame book. And that all refers to the next step of humanity, which is coming in union with your twin flame, cleansing your karma of the past and reliving the timeless space of peace with your twin flame in union and mission. So now you know. And let's get a card from my own card deck about union and mission. Here it is with a pyramid with word on it, written on it. Builder language how B 2.1. From letters and words to meaning. Well, it is said that time was invented, and that's of course like it's like letters and words are invented. I don't know, it somehow seems to be related. And that can then lead to twin flame separation because now you become so intelligent that you can think yourself and talk yourself out of your union. You see, that's exactly what I just said in another way, but then brought into the moment and what you think is normal. And you have to be rescued out of that sort of with twin flame inner work to stop talking about it and go back to the union where time and words are like invalid. And that's where you're supposed to live. Well, that's of course the irony of living on Earth that I explain all of that to you using many words. That's how it goes, people. Okay, B 2.1. We're now looking inside the booklet on my screen. Words of the Sun. Building is a huge question in union because we can run up and down all we want every moment of the day, taking action, reaching out, announcing dates, prepare dinner, clean the house, call them up. But is there a fullness of the soul while doing so? That will eventually determine the quality of your answer. The question, how you build, is thus of great importance. When you value a fulfilling result and at the same time, a peaceful process traveling towards that. Words build on their own already, just like that. When I keep silent, then there is emptiness. When I speak the words, come tonight at 8 to this restaurant, I created an entire world of relationship, dating, action that penetrates the lives of your twin flame. Words chosen wisely can heal, inspire, and transform. Think about the power of love letters. Words are a far-reaching stadium of creation and have huge impact. Choose them wisely. The power of words cannot be understated. They are vibration that works together with the soul and the sun when you let that happen. Let yourself be used by these powers and speak your magic formula. Right, so now we've come out of the purple dawn again, and we say, well, okay, words exist, and I can now combine them with that union power. Yeah, it's like good to be aware of, right? You know how to put words into actions for building relationships, for creating an atmosphere in union that feels like home. You can pass on how impactful this art of the word really is when you keep on implementing it consciously, right? Instead of unconsciously. Okay, beautiful. You will be able to reread this meaning of the card. And also, this was the union meaning, and we also have the mission meaning, and you will be able to do that inside my Patreon. I choose now to explore the most complete depths of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my core that He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see the truth that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we're all one with our twin flames and God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry, you could not choose against love itself because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave because it cannot possibly leave. But you leave love by the power of your command. And by that same power, you can command yourself to return to love. And it is so revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community. Start doing the inner work that is the correct one and ask the support you deserve through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team and you can't expect the results I'm speaking of and in fact guaranteeing. Currently, the door towards the year group program Twin Flame Abundance now is open, a new version, especially for those that want to become a union coach and make their own money. I am looking for 6 people that step into this abundant opportunity with info at creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now or in the link the link is in the description box below and in the pinned comment. You can click it there. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing Twin Flame Live news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we're on Earth and it necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts and don't miss out on behind the scenes experience at patreon.com/PJ Creative Universe or go to the link below. November's Patreon action, only 4 days to go, is the Creative ID reading with info at creativeuniverse.earth/reading/hashtag CID for only €88 plus 21% VAT instead of €222 official price. In this reading, you get so many clues about who your twin flame really is in practice in collaboration with you for your union's mission. And you receive ideas on how to definitively call them in, including multimedia channeled symbols, sounds, and sayings. Ask me for a pay link for this very special offer. And I don't want to confuse you, but there's also a Black Friday deal at this moment, also until end of the month. And that also has a twin flame reading. It is another reading that is even more popular and even more important, because this divine love reading of the Black Friday deal actually answers all the questions that everyone has about their twin flame, such as, have I already met them? Do they recognize my existence? How wealthy are they at this point? Ideas about how to work on your union to make it come true. The angels giving you a blessing over it, etc., etc. And that's in a Black Friday deal. And it is not €500 official value, not €177 official price I sell it for at the moment, but only €99. And yeah, look on my social media and find the Black Friday deal, and I will see you inside of it. It's an awesome opportunity. That will be it for this price for at least the whole coming year. So I would take it if I were you. I'm Petra, in a consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough. After going in with me right here, don't search any further. You found what you were looking for. Oh, my man.